Sure.
Good morning.
Sure.
I heard on the radio that because of the planet Mercury,
Mm-hmm.
electronics might be...
No, that's not it.
Is that not
No, that's
okay.
not true. Thank you anyway, though. Now, we'll get started. Welcome. I'm Professor Gary Locklear. I'm glad you are here. I'm the director of the Information Technology program here at CUW. And the first thing I want to say to you is congratulations. You're welcome. You've been accepted into a master's degree program in information technology, and this really is quite an accomplishment. You should feel good about that. I know you've worked hard to get to this point, and I'm here to share a little secret with you. There's still more hard work coming. Okay? The hard work hasn't stopped. You've got one degree, at least one degree, under your belts, but there will be some more work to get this second degree taken care of, too. Graduate school is different, by the way. Graduate school is fundamentally different from your previous experiences. I'm going to talk about that just a tiny bit today, but you're going to experience it in the first two courses in this program, CSE 501 and CSE 505, and we'll talk a lot more about it there. Fundamentally, I'm expecting you to master this material. I'm expecting you not only to understand it, but to be able to apply it. And I'm expecting you to do that a lot on your own. Now, you're going to have instructors and advisors in the program, but their charge is to give you advice, but not to do the work for you. If you ask your instructor, how do I do that? Your instructor is going to say, that's your responsibility. That may sound scary right up front, but don't worry about it. We're going to make sure that you can succeed. At the same time, lots of hard work. Let me tell you just a tiny bit about our program, the Information Technology Master Degree at Concordia University, Wisconsin. We call ourselves the technology program with a soul. What that means is we focus not just on hardware, not just on hardware and software, but hardware, software, and people. Information technology is something created by people, applied and managed by people, and used by people. People are a giant part of this equation. And unfortunately, in many programs, even some graduate programs, that aspect isn't emphasized. We do emphasize that here. The soul of information technology is you as an IT professional, you as a person, interacting with other people to ensure that their problems are solved. This is more about people than it is about computers. So what is information technology? Here's our succinct definition. You're going to hear it in every class. Information technology is the application and management of technology used in solving problems. The charge of an IT professional is to ensure that the organization that you work for can actually utilize all this technology effectively. Now, how is that different from computer science? A computer scientist's operating verb is create. A computer scientist creates software systems. An IT professional, and that's us, we make sure that these software systems can actually be utilized effectively. Simplistic example. If you've heard of the Oracle database management system, computer scientists created Oracle. If you know anything about a database management system, Oracle doesn't do anything by itself. If you license Oracle and install it on your machine, it doesn't do a thing. It's a framework. It's a system. It's an environment. Now, once that's been created, somebody has to make it useful. That's the information technology professional. Somebody has to create the schema. Somebody has to create the views. Somebody has to be worried about security and many other things. So that's us. Sometimes people come here and say, I want to do pure research in computer science programming languages. I'm sorry, that's not us. What we do is we help ensure that you'll become a good, effective IT professional. Will you ultimately create things? You will. But that's not going to be your primary focus. Your primary focus is on how do I help other people solve their job well. The nice thing about IT is there's actually more different things to do than in computer science. An IT professional has many more job opportunities. By the way, are there any jobs in IT? The answer is yes. Right now, both in the US and worldwide, there are two hot job markets. One is allied healthcare. The other is IT. You got it. Do our graduates get jobs? Yes, absolutely. There are lots and lots of jobs. Locally, regionally, nationally, worldwide. Oh, you bet. Lots and lots of jobs. And the nice thing about IT is these jobs are not limited to tech companies. You know, most people think, well, okay, I'm IT. I've got to work for Google or Apple or Microsoft or Hewlett-Packard or IBM. How many companies use technology in their day-to-day business? All of them. That's right. Okay? Could you work for Harley-Davidson? They make motorcycles. Sure. Okay? Could you work for Allen Bradley Corporation? You could work for anybody. Manufacturing, marketing, retail, finance. The sky's the limit. Everybody uses technology. Everybody needs an IT professional, somebody who can actually come in and say, here's how to use this technology well and right. Good. Let's talk a little bit about our program. I'm going to show you a couple things, and again, I know that you won't remember these, and that's okay. That's not a problem at all. But you'll see these resources as we move along. CUW's MSIT program is 39 credits. That's a very common number for a U.S. master's degree program. Most of our classes are 3 credits. So what that means is you'll end up taking 13 unique courses. Now, of those 13, 7 are required. Everybody takes 7 classes. The remaining 6, you got a choice. And you can choose from about a dozen or so electives in our program. So that allows you to have a good solid core, things that we think everybody needs to know, and then allows you to choose, this is what I would like to focus on. Maybe it's data security. Maybe it's web development. So you have a choice there. Here's a listing of our courses. The one thing you'll notice, if you can actually see this, is every course has 2 numbers. There's one that begins with a 5 and one that begins with an 8. For example, the first course in our program, Introduction to Informatics, is both 501 and 801. Here's the difference. Any course that begins with a 5 is taught on campus. Our on-campus courses meet in an accelerated format. They meet 1 night a week, 4 hours, over the course of 8 weeks. After that time, you're done with 1 course. Okay? The 801, 8XX courses are online. They're done totally via our web learning management system. Now, while our department that runs that will allow you to complete a course in 12 weeks, I always encourage folks who take the online course to complete it in 8 weeks, to just track along with a normal course. I'll say that again, and we're going to hear it a number of times. So, what are the courses that are required? Introduction to Informatics. That course does 2 things. First of all, it's going to tell you what informatics is all about. But secondly, it's going to give you the tools you need to succeed at Concordia University, Wisconsin as a graduate student. The vast majority of you did not do your undergraduate here, right? For many of you, this might be your first time at an American school. Well, I want to make sure you have the tools such that you understand what this is all about and how to do well, and we do that in 501. Second required course is called Foundations of Information Technology, which is a broad survey of everything to do with information technology. As a new student, as a new full-time student, I'm going to ask that you take both of those courses at the same time. They're designed to go together. So most new students take CSE 501, CSE 505 on campus, and then they'll take one other class during their first semester. That's sort of a minimum. I'm sure Darlene Collins has already told you you have to take a minimum of 9 credits per semester to be considered a full-time student. Right? Okay. So here's a listing of them, and you'll see them again. If you want, go to our website, www.cs.cuw.edu, and you'll find it under the MSIT program, and you can stare at them all you want. There's a course description with each one. There's a listing of books required for each one, and so it goes. Okay. By the way, speaking of books, in your first 2 courses, the ones that I just mentioned, there are 2 books that are required. This book, Coding, the Handbook of Information Technology, the department will give to you for free, so you don't have to buy it. But this book, Brookshires Computer Science and Overview, you have to get. You need to have this book. I know books are expensive. I guess standard price on Amazon is $85. Now you can get it at our bookstore. I don't care where you get it from, but you have to have the book. It'll be used in at least 2 courses, and many of the other courses also reference this book too. So it's not like the money is wasted. We're trying to utilize these resources a lot. Okay. All right. Now, let me talk about the difference between our semesters and our courses. In CUW's MSIT program, we have 3 semesters per year. This is the spring semester. Next week begins our 14-week spring semester. Okay? Should be 15, but there's an undergraduate spring break there. Then we have a summer session, and then we have fall. So we follow what CUW calls the traditional course catalog, 3 semesters per year. As a full-time student, you must take 9 credits in the fall, 9 credits in the spring, and a course in the summer. Okay? That considers you a full-time student. Now, I'm going to say one other thing that I'm going to say a couple times today. Sorry to keep. For those of you that catch it the first time, I'm sorry. If you are an international student, you must continually work with our professionals in the Office of International Student Services, because my requirements are not the same as their requirements. For example, if you were admitted to this program, you came up to me and said, gee, can I take next semester off? I'd like to go travel the world. As far as I'm concerned, the answer is yes. I bet that's not the answer you'll get from the Office of International Student Services. See, they are required to check in with lots of different legal entities, and they have to ensure that you're here, etc. Some of you may have a sponsoring body. Somebody may be paying a scholarship for you. If that's the case, they also may have some additional requirements. They may want you to take more than just 3 classes or 9 credits. I don't know. So if you're an international student, or if you have a sponsoring body, somebody paying a scholarship on your behalf, when you ask me a question, I'm going to give you the answer from my perspective, but you should always check with somebody else. If that's the OISS, if that's Darlene Khalsa, great. You heard that, right? Okay, good. I try to say that every time. I don't want there to be any misunderstandings about that. So, what's being offered this semester? You can see we offer some courses in summer. Okay. This is our standard classic rotation. We're going to offer 501 and 505 every semester. You're going to take that. We don't offer every course on campus every semester. If you're looking for the 510 course, it's not here. Okay? In the fall, we'll offer 515, 520, 530. Keep going. Oh, right. I don't know why there are 2 mice up here. 537, 555, 560, 565, 580. Those are the courses we offer. That's not all of them, but there's plenty to choose from. We have the courses set up in a rotation such that if you are a full-time student, You can be done with the entire program over 2 years and a summer in between. So the courses will come up. You won't have a problem with that. Now, what if you say, okay, well, I saw this course, and it's not offered, but I'd really like to take it this semester. Could you do that? The answer is yes. All of our courses are offered online. So if you don't see, for example, 510, you don't see it there, you could take it as 810. That is offered. Okay. So on-campus courses run over 8 weeks, 4 hours per night. E-learning online courses, you decide when and where to do the course, but you have to maintain progress. Our e-learning department demands that you complete a course within 12 weeks. I want you to complete it within 8 weeks. That's the same. Okay. Now, if you look very carefully here, you may notice some things about these classes. You see session, session, session. What's this session thing? Well, a standard semester is approximately 15 weeks. Because our courses only last 8 weeks, we run 2 sessions back to back. So for example, 501 will begin next Tuesday, January 27th. It will run for 8 weeks. So it will be done about March 17th. That next week, beginning whatever it is, March 20th or 21st, our session B will begin. So you could take 2 classes in session A, one class in session B, come on in, and then you have satisfied your 3 courses, 9 credits, for that particular semester. So a semester is a container. We have 2 different sessions. Now, maybe you're a go-getter. Could you take 2 courses in session A and 2 courses in session B? Yeah, you could. Could you take 5 in a... Well, okay, that seems like quite a bit. If you want to take more than just 3 courses a semester, you may. The thing you have to be careful for then is prerequisites. Let's say, okay, hey, I want to take Programming Practice 2 in session B. Guess what? You can't do it. There's a prerequisite. You have to have the 35 class, which is the prerequisite for that. One thing that we're going to do in the very first class is we're going to talk about scheduling, laying out your program, and we're going to review that so you know how to do this well. So again, don't panic right now. It'll all come back again. All right. So 13 courses total in the program, 7 required, 6 electives. We offer every course on campus at least over the course of a 2-year period. Every course is offered every semester online, so you can get them worked in. Great. Now, what are some other resources? When you're a student in our program, we have everything available for you through our learning management system. A learning management system, or LMS, is just a fancy name for a website. We use a couple different things around here. I'm currently using a product called Angel. That will go away some year and be replaced by a different product called Blackboard. Some of you are probably familiar with these. All the material you need for any class you'll find online. For example, if you're going to be in the 501 class, and I'm kind of assuming you are going to be, okay, here is the front page for Angel. You'll find all the assignments. I record everything. You'll find recordings there. All the resources, everything you need to do that class will be available to you right there. Okay? And I'll show you how to access that. The other thing that you'll need to be able to access is Concordia's standard information system, something called my.cuw.edu. This is how you register for classes. This is how you check if you owe anything on your bills. Here's how you look up lots of different things. Now, here's what gets confusing. This resource is handled by our IT support department. Many people just call them IT. That's not us. We are academic information technology. There's another department on this campus. It's called IT support. And guess what they do? They provide information technology support for the university. So they run this site. Here's what happens. Sometimes you can't log in here. So you come to me and say, I can't log in. I'll feel badly, and there's nothing I can do. And you say, well, aren't you IT? Yes, but I'm academic IT. So if you have trouble getting into the My system, you need to contact our IT support department. Now, in just a couple minutes, we're going to go next door into our lab, and I'm going to make sure everybody can connect here. And I'm going to show you how to register for classes, because I'm assuming, what do you think? Nobody's registered for classes, right? Okay? If you are, then you're set. But if you're not, you need to be. Okay? You need to get registered today. Classes begin next week. Don't wait until next week. You need to be in the system. If you're not in the system, you can't access Angel. You're going to come to class, you won't be able to do anything, and we'll all sit there and be sad. All right. Okay? So if you can't, we'll make sure that somehow you can be connected to that. Now, one of the things we're going to do today is I'm going to ask you to register for at least the first 2 classes. If you already know a 3rd class you'd like to take, fine. You don't have to register for the 3rd class today, but the first 2, absolutely. When you look at the system, you're going to see a big listing. These are all the computer science courses. Now, we have an undergraduate program. Every course with a number below 500 is in our undergraduate program. So first of all, you're going to take a look at beginning at 500. There are 2 sections of CSE 501. The first one is full. There are 15 people in it. We have a second section. Many of you will be in that, I suppose. And you're going to register for this class, Introduction to Informatics. When you look at it, this next field tells you the day of the week. T means Tuesday for us. By the way, some classes meet on R. R is Thursday. Okay, why not T? Because we already used a T for Tuesday. So R is Thursday. M for Monday, W for Wednesday. I try not to have a class on Friday. So you'll see a M, W, T, and R. That's the one night of the week. Okay? Introduction to Informatics starts a little earlier than other classes. Most of the classes start at 6. That starts at 5, typically because I have a very late night meeting on Tuesday night, so I go to that. This will tell you who the instructor is. That's me. Okay? And here are the dates. Now, be careful. These dates just show the full week. The 26th is Monday, but this class meets on Tuesday. And the 20th is the end of that week, so these are not the days you're coming. That's just whatever. And this last, you can't see it very well. It will tell you where's the classroom. It's S120. This is Stunkel Hallway. This is S118B. The other classroom in the interior hallway is S120. The vast majority of all your classes will be right here in this area. This is the computer science and information technology area. Okay? All right. I've been throwing a lot at you. I know. I do want to step you through the registration process, but let's pause for just a second. Does anybody have a question right now that you'd like to ask? Ma'am.
Introduction to Informatics, is it mandatory that I have to take it in the spring, or can I take it
No.
summer too?
No, it has to be taken during your first, great question. It has to be taken during your first semester here. Yeah. That class is the prereq for some other ones, and that's the class that we've identified as the starting point. So, yep, 501 and 505 are the 2 foundation classes, and you need to start with those. Again, I'm kind of talking sort of to help out anybody else. If you're not an international student and you don't have anybody else paying your scholarship, then you could probably get away with it for a time or 2. But if you're going to take other classes later in like session B or online, you have to have 501. Great question. Thank you.
And that is going to be included in our 39 credits?
Yes. Yes. That's one of the 13 required courses, one of the required, yes. It's a full-blown course, required course, you bet. Great question. Anything else at this moment that strikes you? Before we take a look at the registration process, then, let me just point out a couple other folks. Let me go back to our web page. There are a number of people who teach in our program, and I want to point out one individual. If you are primarily an on-campus student, Professor Hoppe is one of the assistant directors in the MSIT program, and he is your primary contact for questions regarding scheduling and courses and other logistical things. So if you can't figure out how to register for classes, or what classes should take when, or wait a minute, what was that thing about online versus on campus, or how many, he's the primary contact person. So Professor Jacob Hoppe, he teaches a couple courses for us. He's the data security expert. You'd see him in that class. He assists in the capstone class with me, and he does a few other ones. So Professor Hoppe, you got questions? That's the person you really want to talk to. In deference to folks who are watching this at a distance, I'll just point out that if you are a distance student, you do primary stuff online, so you're watching me on the video, I'm waving to the camera in the back of the room there, then your primary contact person is Professor Patch. Professor Patch is one of the assistant directors in the program. He can help you with all the online issues and how to register and anything else that you may need there. Okay? Good. If you are, hey, I said this already. If you are an international student, I cannot stress enough the importance of constantly communicating with the Office of International Student Services. Okay? Again, if you ask me a question about the program, I can talk to it from the perspective of the requirements of my program. But there may be additional ones, and I may not know them. So, for example, here's something that comes up often. Say, I want to leave the country and go back home. Is that okay with you? As far as I'm concerned, that's great. I'm all for it. Okay? But, Darlene, should they talk to you about that before they do that?
They wish to maintain their status in the country. Yes.
There you go. See? Now, we're all adults. Could you do anything you want to within legal boundaries? Of course. But see, the problem is you don't tell anybody, you just leave. You may not be able to come back. I'd miss you. Right? So, just, nobody will get upset if you ask somebody else. If they say, fine with me, you know, why are you telling me this? Nobody would be upset. Right? You wouldn't be upset if they came to you and said, can I just clear this with you? Nah. Okay? So you can ask me. But the thing I'm going to say at the very end of every conversation is double check with the OISS. Now, if you have a sponsoring body, there are a number of students that have a full ride scholarship. Their sponsoring body will say, here, you've got some additional guidelines. Okay? So again, if you come to me, I'll say, okay with me, but be sure to check out with your sponsoring body, whoever that is. Hey, good. I think I said that 3 times. Now, if you have questions about a course, if you're in a course and have questions about content, talk to your instructor. Most of us, we're happy to speak with you. Most of us are set up to do email very well. The one thing I'll encourage you is, if you would rather talk in person, that's just fine, but please set an appointment. Okay? For example, I have office hours listed, 10 per week, but I sometimes have students there. Like everybody else, I teach a lot. This coming fall semester, I think I have 12 courses I'm responsible for. So as much as I'd love to talk to you, if you just show up, odds are I'm in class. And then you'll be upset. I came and he wasn't there. Okay? Send me an email message. If we could do it via email, great. If not, then we'll set a time. That's for course. Now, if you have a question about the program, what do I take when, or do I have to take this course, or what's this all about? Your first point of contact, if you're an on-campus student, is Professor Hoppy. Distant student, Professor Patch. If something's not working there, then you can absolutely contact me. Okay? So start with your instructor, and then go to me. Okay. Now, in just a minute then, whoa, not found, has been removed. Wow, that doesn't look good, does it? How does that happen? I never know what's going on around here. When you register for classes at Concordia University, Wisconsin, we've identified every class by a magic number. It's called CRN. It's a 5-digit number. 501. By the way, let's say we're going to register for class. So you know you got to go 501, and you look here and you see that C instead of a checkbox. The C means closed. The class is full. But there's another section. So this is the one. See that number 32883? That's the magic number. Okay? That's the number this course is known as. If you want to do it manually and fill in a worksheet, that's the number you got to give it. But we'll just go to the place where you can check a little box and then say go. The other class you wanted to register for is 505, 31111. And again, you'll just go to the place, check the little box, and you'll be set. Now, what I'd love to do is I'd love to be able to show you exactly how to do this. However, the system doesn't like instructors registering for classes. It gets a little upset. But this is what you're going to do. You're going to browse to my.cuw.edu. Oh. You're going to browse to my.cuw.edu. By the way, you can't connect. There's a phone number to call. There's an email to use. Or we can physically walk down to IT support, which is Stunkel. No. Where's Stunkel? Rinker, thank you. Rinker 103. Glass door down there. Thank you. Okay. Except for if you really can't log in, then maybe Darlene's going to help find out something. Okay? Good. So you'll log in. Now, remember when you used to have a name? Do you remember that time? You don't have a name anymore. We know you as your CUW. I'm just kidding. Okay? You can still keep your name. We're still going to use your name. And by the way, if lots of times people have nicknames or other names, and yeah, because it's probably very hard for me to pronounce your name properly. If you want me to call you something else, I'm happy to do that too. But when you talk to our system, it doesn't know your name. It knows your ID number. It's a sometimes people call it a foo number because it begins with F00. So you have a CUW ID. It begins F00, and then there are 6 more digits. Likely the next one's a 3, and then it goes. Okay? So you'll type that in here. Now you'll notice I'm special. I got a name. Okay? Your password is whatever the IT support department gave you initially. And then you can change it, though. There's a way to do this, I think, somewhere. Okay? Once you log in, then, you will see some tabs here. You won't have a faculty tab. You will see this Student Services tab. You will select the Student Services tab. One of the channels here is Registration Tools. You will then add or drop classes. Now, I'm not going to select that one because the system gets really upset when I do that. But I'm going to go to Look Up Classes, which is similar. So, Student Services, Registration Tools, Add or Drop Classes. When you select Add or Drop Classes, it's first going to ask you, what? Yes?
If you want, I can give you my ID.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. But no, because then everybody else would see your ID. I don't want to do that. Okay. Okay, it's like really, really slow. I know that. Okay, yeah. I mean, I really probably don't even have to show you. If you run into problems, we'll do it. So go to Add Drop Classes. Again, you'll have to, oh, you know what? The first time you connect to it's going to ask you to agree to all of our terms. There could be several pages of these things. By law, we have to share with you certain information, like how safe is the campus environment and our non-discriminatory policy and things like that. So, of course, you can read those things, or you could just select the box that says, yes, I read them. I'm going to go back and see if it will do it again. Okay. Nope, won't do it. Anyway, hopefully it'll work for you next door. Okay. So, let me pause again and see if there's any questions. What we're going to do next is I'm going to have you go next door. We're going to sit at one of our computers. I'm going to have you connect. We'll see what happens. Not my system, right? I don't control this system. Okay. I'm going to cut the recording, but let me tell everybody, for you at a distance and for you here on campus, welcome again. I'm excited to have you here. Start of a new semester, start of a new adventure. I want you to remember this initial excitement because, you know, in the middle of the semester it's going to seem kind of, but remember, this is fun. Okay. Thanks for being along for the ride.